Okay, guys. Today, what we're thinking about is about how we summarize. So, links to World Book Day, it says out there. Sorry, I should say read it. But we're going to be looking at how we summarize uh, elements of a text. Now, luckily for you guys today, there's no words in the text, so you're not going to hear me talking as a character too much. What you're going to hear and see is how the characters in a story called Journey were developed by the person who conceived it, Aaron Becker. To be successful today in summarizing the events from a story, you're going to need to identify the key events from a story. You're going to need to use a specified number of words to write a summary when we summarize the text at the end. And you're going to need to ensure that your summary encapsulates it, the key issues. So even if somebody's jumping across a place, that might not be the key element about the part of the story that we're looking at. You've got to think about what the key message that this part of a story needs to contain, a key summary. Okay. Right, guys. So the story that we're looking at is Journey. Journey is a story that was written by or conceived by Aaron Becker. We can see his name at the bottom. And later on in the day, you're going to look at some videos of him showing how he did some of the elements of the artwork within it. And that's hopefully going to inspire you to conceive your own ideas in the same guise as Journey. Now, our protagonist, who's this character here, she goes on an adventure, on a journey, as you can tell by the name of the story. And as she's doing that, we see her experiencing different things, but also facing different problems. And you're going on bits of journeys, aren't you? Some of you are going to new schools in September, or all of you are. But all of us are going on a journey next week where we return to school after the period of lockdown. And I'd like you to think about any problems that you think you face as a part of that. So when you're doing your artwork this afternoon, I'd like you to conceive a problem you face and draw an image of that in the style of Aaron Becker, thinking about how he shows you how to hold a pencil, how he talks about colour. And once you've done that, then as he does with his protagonist in the story today, I'd like you to conceive how you could solve that problem. So as we look at Journey as it begins, we can see our character on a red scooter. It's important to note the colour red, because when things are in red in different colours, it kind of tells us something about what's occurring within the story. As we look then here at the beginning of the story, she's looking unhappy. She's seeing these other children playing. We might want to make a little note in our head about this gentleman who's got a purple crayon in his hand. We see her with her red scooter, and we see the characters from her family who are not doing things which involve her. If I just move across the screen, you can see that at the top here, we can see an oldest child, I'm imagining a sibling, who looks disinterested. We can see an adult male, probably her dad, who's at a computer. So it's almost like he's having to work from home, like many adults have had to do recently. And then we can see a female, who we assume is an adult, could be a sister, who's cooking and is also on the phone there. All of these things paint the picture of somebody who's not being given much attention, not being given much help by the people who she lives with. Carry on then with the story. We see her trying to engage with these people with the toys, with the tools that she's got. She's got her scooter, and she obviously wants to persuade this adult female to go with her on the scooter, but they're too busy cooking and talking. She's got a kite that she wants to go and fly, but the adult male refuses to turn around, never mind go and fly. Then I think this is some kind of mobile phone device, maybe a tablet that this older sibling, I'm imagining the sister, has. So therefore, there's no football for our protagonist. So she's trying to have fun. She's trying to explore. She's trying to go on journeys with these people. Unfortunately, though, they're not able to. So therefore, she sits in her room alone. She's obviously a keen traveller. Can you just have a quick look at the pictures in the room and the images of this room? What is it that tells me she's a keen traveller? Some of you will have got two. Did anybody get all three? So you can see the balloon, the hot air balloon. That shows she likes the idea of travel. That's a great lampshade, isn't it? The map on the wall is a really key image. There's actually two more, really. The pyramids over here, which tell me she knows a bit, or she's interested in Egypt and ancient Egypt, potentially. But I can also see on her boat, on her bed, sorry, images of boats. So I can see that travel is a key thing to her. Going on journeys is something. So therefore, if she's stuck at home with nobody engaging with her, she's going to feel restless. I can infer from that she's going to start to want to go somewhere. I then see something changes in this image. She's still on the bed, but now she's sat up. She's noticed that where the cat was has cleared, and where the cat was has cleared and left a red crayon. What might she do with this red crayon? She thinks. She considers. She then draws. She draws a door. Now, this door is an escape into the world, an escape into the future. As she goes through this door, then, she's escaping from the world she was in into a different world. As she goes through, she's no longer just into another door, another room. She's now into a whole new world. As she looks around, there's vast scale of it's huge. There's trees as far as the eye can see. There's no sun peeking through due to the dense foliage on the top of the trees, but there is light because of the lamp show that's hanging from the trees. She can also see somewhere else she could have an adventure, as well as the forest in which she is. How else could she have an adventure? Yeah, some of you have spotted the river, haven't you? The stream running through. But then she gets to it and she can't swim along it. So how is she going to solve this problem? She's got a tool, hasn't she? What could she do? So this is her first problem. She's facing, well, arguably the first problem was the need to draw a door. But now she's facing the second problem. How could she solve this problem? Any ideas? Some of you will have spotted this. Yeah. You need to float, don't you? So she paints she draws an image of a boat. And then she can go on her way. She can continue her journey. Carrying on along this journey, she continues, she enjoys her journey. And she reaches this fantastic settlement, this huge place. If any of you ever at a loose end, you might want to look at the drawings of somebody called Escher. And he drew these kind of mathematical drawings that almost didn't make sense. And this reminded me a lot of those. The scale of it, but also the way that the water's going this way and that way, the stairs are going this way and that. I'm not completely sure it makes sense as a building, but it's what it does do is it paints a picture of somewhere that's huge. This place that you can reach by water, that's set within water, and that you travel around on water, actually still has different levels. As she goes into this, then she's greeted by the guards and they let her in. They open up the gate to her, but then she reaches another problem. She's at the end of the canal, and you can see up in the top left up here. Sorry, you can see that these gentlemen are trying to help her, trying to save her. What's she going to do? How can she save herself? She's got that tool. What could she do? Well, she does something with a circle. How's that going to help her? Thinking back to her room. Yeah, she's got the hot air balloon. Now she can fly away. So she's happy. Then she spots something up in the sky over here. This purple bird. She spots something that's happening to it as well. It's being caught. It's being captured. It's being chased. She's not happy about the idea of things being restricted in their freedom. She's been restricted in her freedom. She likes freedom herself, and therefore she continues in the journey, in the air, flying across the land. As she carries on, she eventually reaches the point where she's now spotted that they've captured this bird in this cage. She's going to try and find somewhere now. She's landed her balloon of helping it escape. She sees them in this almost like a jail where the caged bird is being guarded by these two sentries. She runs up to it, she lifts it, she helps it escape. She frees the bird, but then she's got a problem. How's she going to escape this time? Could she draw another hot air balloon? Another problem? This time, no, the pen gets kicked away. The pen gets dropped away by the aggressive guard, and then suddenly she's stuck. Now that she's stuck, what will she do? Well, she's in a cage. She's been lowered down at the bottom, at the back of the airboat. She's stuck. Her savior comes through the air. Her savior is the bird that delivers the pencil, the pen, the crayon, whatever this implement may be, that then gives her freedom. But now she needs to draw something to give herself freedom. She draws a rectangle. Why is she drawing a rectangle? What do you think? What's your prediction? Any ideas? Her rectangle allows her to fly away. Like with Aladdin, she's flying away on the magic carpet. She flies away, following the bird that had released her, and she eventually ends up at this purple place, following the purple bird. This purple door leads into another world. Our intrepid explorer goes through that door, and what do you think she finds behind it? She finds a friend. The bird leads her to a friend. The friend we saw earlier in the initial picture, the friend who had the purple crayon. She's led to the friend. She sees the friend, and now her and the friend want to continue having adventures together. So they both draw a circle, a red circle and a purple circle. What will she do with these circles? What will they do with these circles? What's your prediction here? Because the problem is they wish to have adventures in the future. What's the solution going to be? They draw a bike and they continue on their adventures. Now, a bit of a secret, guys, this is the first of a trilogy. So if you enjoy this story, when we get back, we can look at the second and third elements of it. And as we go through today, what you're going to do is you're going to summarize the whole story that you've seen today. So you might want to use the images that are in this template. or you might want to draw your own to remember what had happened. And then in each section, you're going to list the key events in 30 words or fewer. So in this opening section, the child is being ignored by members of her family. Red items which could be used to have fun appear. However, everyone is too distracted or too busy to play with her. So I've done that in, I think, 29 words, maybe 30. And your job is to fill in each section of our grid. So build up, problem, resolution, and ending, and write down a 30-word summary for what happens within the story. If you choose to draw your own images for all 5 sections, you can complete this first column yourself by drawing based on your recollection of the story, what happens with our protagonist. And the idea of this is that it will help you with some inference later, where you write letters as though you're a character in the story. But it will also help you when you think about problems that you face, how you could resolve them if you had a magic crayon, what you would draw. And when we look at Aaron Becker's videos later. Thank you very much for listening, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the journey, and I look forward to seeing both your inferences, your summarising, but particularly your artwork this afternoon. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.